recording and then cut to when I think stuff starts going from gibberish to literally that. I'm going in blind again. Like, so last episode when I was talking to Noah, we had notes. But we didn't end up following them. So for this,
no, but it was interesting because you then read the notes at the end, and you kind of covered everything.
Yeah, in a weird way. Yeah. So I did have some stuff like in my head that I wanted to talk about with you.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm more than happy to just see where conversation meanders, you know.
Fair dues.
And because I mean, straight off the rip, you're probably one of the. I mean, you might actually be one of the only, like, in terms of the way you're an artist, like the only artist I know.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of when I think of an artist, it's you for some reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, like I'm not trying to shill my mate who like has like a sketching Instagram where they sketch football players, like, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, your art to me feels, I mean, it's a lot more, I guess the cool word is abstract.
That's right.
But yeah, I've always been an admirer of your work, sir. It's like I'm talking to the next Keith Haring or something.
Oh, mate, Keith Haring's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I'm quite as amazing as Keith Haring, though.
It depends how you quantify.
I've got a different, there's a different. I'm coming from a different angle, I suppose, but.
Yeah. I'm trying, and I know you shouldn't, but I try and think of like mainstream like artists which your work somehow aligns with in my eyes. And it really is like nothing that comes immediately to mind.
I guess that's a strange
thing.
compliment.
Yeah. I mean, do you have influences?
I have an obsession with an artist called David Shrigley.
The Swan.
The Swan.
Yeah.
No one else will know what that means.
Oh, funnily enough, when we last hung out, when you first brought up David, the work of Shrigley, like within 24 hours, I think 2 other people brought him up to me for the first time.
Whoa.
And I just tripped out where I was like, I've only just heard of this guy. I think, to be fair, one was cheating. I literally posted the picture of your blow-up swan that you have in your house on Instagram. And one of like my American mates like popped up to me. He was like, yo, is that Shrigley? And I was like, yeah, man. And I was like, yeah, my artist friend has stuff. And then I sent him a link to your thing and he just left me on scene. I shill you so any opportunity I shill your stuff is hilarious.
I'm not familiar with the word shill.
As in like just
you pass it on.
Yeah, it's like you've never heard of the word motive, have you? When I said I've just returned from a motive.
I that did not make any sense to me. I'm quite a lot older than you, so I'm relatively like in Granddadsville compared to you.
I think it's
and especially the previous guy on the podcast. What was his name? Noah, did you say?
No, yeah. I mean, you're not. Are you 30 yet, or are you about to be?
I'm 31, sir.
30? What? So you're
aged.
You are a year off being double the age of my last guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, that was a artistic choice for me. To have you back to back. So next episode, I'm gonna have to find a 62-year-old.
Oh my god.
But yeah, for me, when I was talking about like you as an artist to other people, it's so this term shilling is like. I respect what you do, but at the same time, I do push it because you're my friend. Like, I love
That's
your work,
awesome.
but I push it even harder because it's like, it's like, the first, like I keep saying, like the opportunity I have to commission someone to do an art piece for me, you're top of the list. I think shilling is like, it's not really slang, but when we go back to like motive, I think that's quite a roadman term for like, so when I said to you,
I'm feeling so aged right now.
Just returning from motive or like, what's the motive? Yeah. Is all this kind of like, so what's the plan? I've just come from an event. If you want to be formal, like, just return from motive is like.
You didn't explain to me in the WhatsApp that I thought by you typing motive, you typed that incorrectly. That was the vibe I was getting, which is just hilarious.
So what did you think I was trying to say?
No, because the following thing you said was like, it didn't clear it up with me. Does that make sense? I didn't realize motive was a thing.
Yeah,
until right now.
Yeah.
Until you're telling me you don't know what motive is.
I can't remember why.
Because you're an old age pensioner.
I can't remember how I cleared it up. How did I?
It was like you said something about I've come back from the event.
Yeah.
But it sounded like you meant to put event.
Yeah.
But like
you said motive.
Incorrectly typed motive.
I'm gonna check.
What did man say?
What did my G say? Yeah, just so to quote exactly what I said.
Oh my god.
Just got back from the motive, need to shower and eat and poo-poo.
I did like that comment.
Which I didn't actually shower, so apologies for my post-motive sweaty musk.
I've got the same vibe, you know.
So, musky boys, it's fine.
Musky boys.
This is actually now, it's the Musky Boy podcast.
Yeah. Nightcall, what's that?
Yeah, never heard of it. It's all about, I just say a bunch of stuff and you're just like, motive? What is this foreign language you're speaking to me? And then the event, sorry, I'm a youth at heart. Yeah, that was just me trying to clarify that. Motive.
That also didn't clarify anything. That was just like a random statement, and I was like, how is this making any sense?
As I was typing that, I was like, he's probably still has no fucking clue what I'm talking about.
I had no idea. I had no clue, man.
I'm not going to lie. So since... and actually, this is a good tangent, because I do want to talk about our weird reconnections of life and how, like, when I first met you, as opposed to when we got to know each other, as opposed to where we're at now.
Yeah.
Because so the age gap isn't huge, but it's big enough that, so when I started at school, you were the head boy in sixth form. Representing. And I remember specifically, so you were specifically like when the parents and students were being herded around to the different like departments, you were the herder for my group, I'm pretty sure. Because you wore like a Hawaiian shirt, and and that left an impression on me for sure, compared to any of the others, because you seemed like a very relaxed, cool guy, which made me think the school was very relaxed and cool, which it fucking wasn't. So thanks for fucking buttering me up for nothing.
Sorry, dude.
But and like, yeah, because I thought you were a surfer. You gave off big surfer energy.
I mean, that's just because of my ludicrous hair.
Yeah. It wasn't
Mainly.
even it's more ludicrous now.
It is more ludicrous now, yeah.
It was nowhere near as ludicrous, because then time skip to...
Well, I actually knew you before then.
Okay. Now this is
Do
interesting.
you not remember?
Maybe. Please enlighten me,
Because you went to Cub Scouts, and I was a Duke of Edinburgh helper at Cub Scouts. So you must have been 10 or under,
probably.
and I remember. Yeah, because I remember when I don't want to skip to the future, but I remember thinking back and going, my God, didn't that guy go to Cubs?
Yeah,
but I don't know if that clocks with you or if I'm just mixing you up with someone else.
No, but I did go to Cubs,
Yeah.
and I remember because it was a voluntary thing.
Yeah.
DOV members were volunteered.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember that. I only remember a handful. Oh, was a girl, and this is going to be super fucking weird if somehow someone who knows her listens to this podcast, but was there a girl who also did it called Amber? Do you recall? Because I seem to remember specifically one of the volunteering girls called Amber, and when you go through the tunnel to Ivor Springs,
Yeah.
and we went on some weird scout trip to Ivor Springs, and she like kicked, I can't remember, something relating to her in that tunnel. She like shouted at some kid because he like bashed the spider's webs down from the top of the tunnel onto her or something like that. Something happened anyway. And like that was one key thing I remember about like the DOV. But that could be completely out of nowhere.
I don't remember anyone called Amber. I helped out at what was it, First Bulldog Nights? Is that you guys?
First Bulldog. I don't know where you're getting Nights from.
Maybe it's not Nights. I don't know. I'm just making that shizzle up. And me and my friend James helped out, and he was Baloo and I was Bagheera.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Is this clocking? Is it clocking?
Starting to tingle my brain. Like.
So you must have been. So there's a 7-year age gap between us?
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I thought I was 21 for a minute, and I was like, oh God.
No, I'm just aged, mate. I'm just aged. No, because it was like. So I must have been 16, 17 or younger.
That was due.
So you must have been 9 and 10.
16 cents. So you were still head boy at this time as well.
I think I'd done my Duke of Edinburgh service by the time I was head boy. So this was before you went to KTS.
So this is before.
And because you've got quite a striking face.
I'll take that.
I mean, and I remember.
I wouldn't say as striking as you. Maybe this is a love at first sight thing.
And no, I just remember because I remember when we met each other latterly when we were both older.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, hey, wasn't that the guy from who was at Cubs?
Yeah.
In a little scout uniform.
Well, if we time skip, so I can't fucking remember how old I was when we did. But I just quit working at the pet shop, and I was proper full of myself. Not full of myself, but I was like, yeah, I'm leaving this dead end pet shop to go work in the busy Apple of Cambridge, thinking, oh yeah, I'm at some cool fashiony fucking shoe shop. And I don't know, were we, so I guess we had, because it was like, did you have like, it was like a group interview for Size.
Yeah, which we both attended.
Were in the same one, weren't we?
We both attended, yeah.
Because you wore your big
I wore this ludicrous fuzzy
shiny
coat.
Yeah.
Which was like sort of grey white.
Yeah, but you also you do have like a chrome shiny puffer jacket.
I do have that, but it wasn't that one.
That was the one you wore on your first shift, I think.
Maybe. I don't have that coat anymore, sadly.
All right, we're going to stop recording, guys.
Sad times.
Yeah, so, God, that fucking interview was wild. Like, I've never had
I just remember,
an
like,
interview before.
I just remember, like, having to describe where I like to shoe.
Yeah.
Which was kind of odd for me at the time. I think I obviously did well because they wanted to hire me.
That's the thing, like, we're very much into different shoe stuff. all kinks aside.
How dare you, sir?
How dare you? It's like, I mean, one, you wear Vans, I don't. That was the big distinction. But you,
That's
I
the
remember
big distinction.
You have, like, you DIY, you were, well, at the time, definitely, you were DIYing your shoes, weren't you? You were.
I have done some
Customization.
custom shoes. I did a custom pair of shoes for someone I know, and their mum as well.
Oh, very cool.
Because she liked them so much, she commissioned me to do her a pair, which was quite cool. I've also done a few like disaster ones. So I did a really bad like paint job on a pair of like just white Vans, and I think I just had to like throw them away because they were really awful. They were really awful. But the best ones I ever did were the gold.
Yeah.
The gold Vans.
Oh yeah.
With the spikes. Did you see them?
Well, I remember because I came in to finish off the shift, and you had the morning shift, and you were wearing them. And
did I wear them to size?
Yeah, because the lady that was the manager was like,
yeah.
"Come look at Callum's shoes."
Oh wow!
And I was like, I mean, not my cup of tea, but very, very crack-a-lackin'.
How dare you? Put away this like Rick Owens rubbish.
Yeah, of course. Get rid of that tat.
Get rid of that rubbish. You want like signature
DIY.
Signature DIY custom
was it spray
vibe.
canned?
It was spray canned, and it was
Cool.
It was special because they were the leather ones.
Mm. Oh yeah.
And the spray was like specially for leather, I think. So they actually did quite a good job.
Well, actually, that is technically high fashion because Mason Martin Margiela did that. Sprayed, painted pair of boots white,
right?
But they deliberately cracked, so they were like as you wore them,
sick.
they cracked and the flake came off.
Right.
He did it. He really ran it into the ground. Did it with loads of different types of shoes, but the original I think was a pair of boots or a pair of derbies. I can't remember. But yeah, so we met at the age. So I was what? How old?
That was 2016.
I guess it overlapped because it was Christmas.
Hang on. I think it was Christmas 2016, not 2015.
Really? Oh, okay.
Because I started work in Letchworth in 2017 on the 1st of January after my size shift. So it was definitely 2016. So I was 26.
Yeah. So
you must have been 19.
Yeah. But yeah, because I remember the first shift we turned up on, I don't think I clocked you in the interview at all, really.
Yeah.
Or clocked that I recognised you. The first shift I saw you from behind, I was like, this girl looks kind of crazy.
I knew you were going to say
this girl looks interesting. And you turned around and I was like, I instantly had that like, wait, what the fuck? Where do I recognise this person from?
Yeah.
But I think I also recognised you because you obviously live in town and you'd skate about and stuff like
B-town.
Get to places.
Yeah.
So I probably just saw you around town quite a bit as well.
Yeah. Bulldog boys.
Well, because like, do you ever have experience? And this is another complete tangent off of the original our like character arc of being friends. This is another tangent from that. But do you ever feel like Does the concept of hometown syndrome resonate with you at all? Because I realise now, especially over lockdown, and unfortunately you are one of these people, but there is like people in this town that I've just got so used to just perceiving and seeing.
Yeah.
And I'm, for some reason, worried that I'm now this person as well. Do you know what I mean?
That other people are kind of viewing you as a local.
And they're like, I was like, oh yeah, there goes that guy who drives the Tesco.
I honestly do feel that because I wear quite sort of, let's say, unusual attire.
Well, yeah,
for
I'd
a man.
say to the point that I think I stick out, but if I stick out, you definitely
Yeah.
are
So
a diamond in the rough.
So I definitely feel that, you know, sometimes if I've got some, you know, like a more outlandish style of fit, let's say, just to be down with the kids.
Yeah.
Drip.
Yeah.
I got drip, bruv. I is like dripping right now.
So when you are, so you're saying that
If
you
I
never open the tap fully, you just let it a little drip.
No, I'm just like,
A little
it's
dribble
just
of
coming
drip.
down. It's just coming down. It just keeps coming. That's my drip vibe.
So oh, there's some dog mauling something outside. Can you hear that?
I did hear a little bit of that, yeah.
I thought it was you for a minute.
It was me. I'm a ventriloquist. Yep.
But so do you? Into keeping up with the hilarious terminology, I hide my power level when I walk around town and I dress in town. If I go to Tesco's or if I'm wandering around town, I will not dress top tier, ridiculous, avant-garde, edgelord.
Okay.
I will simmer down.
Edgelord, that sounds awesome. I love that. I've not heard that before.
Mate, that's
Edgelord.
amazing that you have never heard of the edgelord.
Look, man, I don't move in the same circles that
I
you
almost
do.
want to turn this whole episode into just me bringing up new terminology and you just
I mean, me just
completely
flipping
not
out.
knowing what it is. Edgelord is quite edgelord's considered a bad thing.
Okay.
I think edgy and being an edgelord has got to the point of being cliche.
Okay, like hipster.
Yeah. It's like the modern day, but like where a hipster would wear, you know, rolled up jeans and a flannel shirt. An edgelord. I don't even know what an edgelord would wear, like an abundance of chains or
Okay.
A shirt under a t-shirt. That's one of my things I fucking despise when I see people do that.
A shirt under a
So
t-shirt.
they'll wear like an oversized black t-shirt, probably with a logo on, and then like a white shirt underneath, and then like chains over the top of that.
Okay.
It's what's considered. Have you ever heard the term e-boy?
I know there's an artist called E-Boy.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
He makes like pixel artwork.
I hope he knows that e-boys are a thing outside of him.
I'm sure he
And
probably
they're not-
does because
they're
he's
not
probably
great.
more down with the kids than I am.
But yeah, to roll back to my question, do you hide your power level? Like,
I again, just to like power level, just I don't really know what that means. But
to be honest,
is it like
I'm making
that's a gaming thing, right?
It's more of like an anime thing.
Okay.
You ever heard like in Dragon Ball Z, his power level's over 9,000? You ever heard that?
I've heard of Dragon Ball Z.
And then there's like, so I my guilty. So I feel like I'm quite the anime
Aficionado.
patrician. I don't know. Yeah.
You're an
I don't-
aficionado.
To be fair, I don't
Yeah.
listen. I don't actually watch much anime at all. But the ones
You're
I
passionate
do,
about it, though.
there's specific, and it's normally the older stuff or like
Yeah.
the niche stuff. But there is one shonen, which shonen is like teen anime, like Pokemon, I guess you could count,
Yeah.
or Naruto if you know Naruto. He's shaking his head at me. I'm in shock. Anyway, there is a shonen called there is a shonen called Bleach, and there's like this whole thing called spiritual pressure, and each character has their own spiritual pressure, but some of them hide their spiritual pressure to appear weaker, and then they'll release their spiritual pressure, and it's like nani, and it's like and it's like, wow, like all this power has come out of nowhere.
Okay.
So when I say power level in terms to garments,
Yeah.
I will be wearing like a beaten up Dickies t-shirt and a pair of hiking shorts, but when in fact at home I have garments beyond your wildest dreams hiding in my wardrobe. Do you know? Like,
Interestingly, when I go to Tesco, I live about 2 minutes away from
and
Tesco.
I love how for the town life this is a thing. When you do the Tesco run that everyone in this town does,
Yeah.
because the only thing in this town is Tesco's.
Yeah.
Is it
It's
like,
just sucked away
yeah.
all like independent business.
Like, you know, like there's mining towns. Our thing is we're a Tesco's town.
Yeah.
We're no longer that Roman market town that all of the old biddies wish this place still was.
Yeah.
But anyways, continue.
I dress up to go to Tesco.
I mean,
So I guess I'm doing the opposite of you. So I wouldn't go so far as to, put makeup on to go to Tesco. That's more of a sort of evening.
yeah, I think I've only seen you in makeup 3 times.
Okay.
Maybe.
I didn't even think you'd seen me in makeup, actually.
I'm going to count one of those times as I'm pretty sure was watching one of your demos, like your live performances.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure one of your gallery showcases, I don't really know what to call them.
Oh, private view.
Yeah, you were a bit.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, no. If it's like a kind of an evening shindig, then I may
have a little splash.
have a little splash.
What's your go-to? Would you? But so you wouldn't do this for Tesco's.
I wouldn't do this for Tesco because that's just too laborious.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not, I'm not very good at applying makeup. I obviously do it myself. And
you don't have an artist.
I just kind of employ my makeup artist to make me up every month.
Yeah. That's the same with mine.
Yeah.
Just periodically.
For
For my periodic Tesco runs.
my periodic table.
Turntable.
Yes, sir. But no, I actually enjoy dressing up. Like, I'll sometimes try on outfits like at home. I mean, I'm sure other people do
Oh
this.
yeah.
But I'll just be like, oh yeah, let's try this one out. And yeah, no, I do dig it.
Some days I just play dress up. I mean, you see me sometimes I really get in the rhythm of just taking outfit pick after outfit pick all the time. I'll dress up, pick a bunch of stuff in my wardrobe, go downstairs, get the timer out, snap a pic.
Okay, yeah.
Half the time I take off the majority of it to head out. If I'm going out to somewhere, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm actually only going to wear a t-shirt and joggers. But
yeah.
for a minute, I'm wearing oversized blazer, fucking 6 belts, and 2 different shoes or something. But yeah, I find it really fascinating that, and I also want to know what you consider dressing up, because obviously, in the traditional sense, that implies suit and tie. which I know when both of us describe dressing up, neither of us, I think, are suit and tying it to Tesco's.
No, not suiting and tying to Tesco.
I'm more likely to wear
maybe if I was talking like in the 1950s, maybe I'd be referring to that.
Yeah.
But I think dressing up for me is like feeling good about like a look.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, I've got a good vibe on at the moment, and I'm gonna like feel good because I'm wearing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. I start to notice because the majority of my stuff's either found in like a thrift shop, or I've meticulously sourced it from some Filipino gentleman or the back corners of New Zealand or something, where someone has sold. I think, for example, these Rick Owens collab with Adidas.
Right.
This is from, I think, 2014.
Yeah.
The tech runners. These were my first. Like, I wore these to the size job interview because these are my first. Like, I will never sell these shoes.
Yeah.
I think the silhouette's timeless.
Yeah.
Aligns with my personality nicely. And yeah, these I picked up from a gentleman in Perth, Australia.
Yeah.
Which I've heard is on like, because there's a nice side and a shit side of Australia.
Well,
and
Perth's on the west, isn't it?
Yeah, which is considered a lot more.
There's not much going on that side. Yeah.
Quiet and like as opposed to Sydney and Melbourne.
So that's quite interesting that man from Perth would have a pair of these.
And then the ones on the bottom left, the Nike MMWs, are actually women's shoes. And they are from...
I actually rate them.
They are from the Philippines. So you can actually take that sole off and they're more of like a sock runner underneath.
Like a, almost like a surf shoe or something.
So it's like
because they're sort of neoprene, aren't they?
Yeah. So it goes from like a workout shoe to like a hiker, but you couldn't hike in them. They're fucking uncomfortable as hell. Yeah, and then I think I've got these, maybe Germany, but that's like quite a common place for me to pick up a lot of stuff's Germany.
Yeah.
Mainly because I have friends there who
the cool German cats over there.
I mean, German style is definitely, I feel like, the more prominent style of Europe at the moment, for sure. And I think it's a very much not your style.
Not my style.
It's all black and upsetting.
I'm currently wearing all black. At the moment.
I say that, and you're wearing more black than me right now.
I'm wearing all black at the moment.
No, maybe it is your style. Do you ever get like? Do you wear a lot of leather?
I've got a absolutely kick-ass leather jacket that I got from a charity shop that's got fringing on it.
I think I've actually seen this. Is it white?
It's not white. No, it's just a black. It's a motorcycle jacket. I looked up the brand name, and it had a huge
the motorcycle lapel things.
Yeah. And it's just got this amazing fringing and tasseling, like proper cowboy style.
Yeah.
And I just love it. I don't wear it that often because it's quite thick. So, you're going to be sweating in it if you're just going out in spring or autumn. So it's more of a sort of wintry number, let's say.
I mean, I've always...
But I'm not... I think that's the only piece of leather I own.
Yeah, I don't think I actually own... Apart from maybe 2 pairs of leather boots, a pair of boots and a pair of shoes. And there are like leather accents to some of my other stuff. But like actual garments-wise, no. I've only ever worn... I remember trying on...
I can't imagine you in like leather, actually.
No,
maybe some like really weird leather trousers or something. That would be kind of like an interesting cut.
There's one designer out there that's tempted me towards leather, and that's a Japanese designer called Jun Takahashi.
Okay.
He is the head of a brand called Undercover, and they have what was known as the ethnic bomber, or ethnic rider, which is your standard leather jacket, but the sleeves are cut off, and there's like this kind of I don't want to botch the ethnicity or like the cultural influence, but it's like kind of like a Himalayan knit. I want to say Tibetan energy or something like that, but
Okay.
it's got this crazy like it's like a knitted sleeve to it, but that has a leather like front, and that's the only like leather jacket where I've been like, ooh, yeah, that's cool. Because I just don't. One, I'm trying to be more progressive anyway and avoid leather.
Yeah.
But obviously, when it's second hand, it's basically like
Free game.
yeah, in a way.
No, I was absolutely blown away because it was a really good price. I think it was about 25 quid or something. And I was like, it fits. I find finding clothes for myself in charity shops really hard because I like pretty out there stuff.
Yeah.
I like dressing from the women's section, but I'm also not the smallest, skinniest guy. You know, I'm pretty wide. And it's really
Proportionally vague.
What? And yeah, so I'm. It's so hard to find stuff that I would be into from a charity shop,
Yeah.
basically. And then I saw this leather jacket, and I was like, oh my god, I don't have a leather jacket at the moment. It's got fringing. It's ticking all the boxes, and it was like my size, and I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah, I see what you. I completely. I agree with you in terms of finding something that's your size and awesome.
Yeah.
In a charity shop.
Yeah, because it's so few and
Yeah.
far between. I don't know if it is for you as well.
I think that's more modern as well. Like it's getting more like that. I think charity shops are getting more thinned out. Mainly because of this wave of fast fashion. I feel like because every time I go in there,
it's just grim.
it's just dirty. Like just fucking like I don't want to pay for this like stretched neck ASOS t-shirt.
Yeah,
That's like
that's probably still 5 quid or something.
yeah, like
And they probably paid 5 quid for it in the first place.
exactly. The last thing I bought, and I remember I was driving through town, I was dropping my friend off at the station, and I spotted a 2-piece double-breasted suit on the rail outside Garden House Hospice.
Yeah.
The cheap rail. And I
Yeah.
saw that suit and I was like, yeah, that's nice. And it just stuck in my head for a little bit. And then I literally left the house specifically to go find that suit. It was £3 and it fit me perfectly.
That's genius.
And that rarely happens because I'm a very tall, very skinny guy. And normally in a charity shop, it's all short and wide blokes shifting their M&S suits.
Exactly.
But it was, I've got it here. This boy here. Full, like, low lapel, striking,
nice lapels
sharp,
with the...
really nice. And it's double-breasted. It's, let me just fold it so I can, it says on the inside what, it's like an actual...
Is it a brand, is it?
Not, I don't know. I wouldn't class it as a brand. I don't. It's St. Michael, which I think is kind of like
That's Marks and Spencer's, isn't
yeah,
it? Yeah.
but it's Austrian. It's Austrian wool, which
Okay,
'cause I
pretty
know
good
'cause
quality though.
Marks and Spencers do have that like higher up line.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking £3, and it fits me like the trousers are definitely a cropped look. For sure, you know, I'm a long boy,
Mr. Tall Man.
and the shoulders are exaggerated. But I think the whole thing just like I just wear like a white plain t-shirt underneath,
Yeah.
and I just feel like some fucking like sleazy. I should be getting into like a fucking Ferrari Testarossa and driving off to some club so I can snort coke off someone's tits. You know what I mean? Like as soon as I put the suit on, that suit. As soon as the suit goes on, I think that instantly. Like all of a sudden, I want to slick back my hair, you know,
Yeah.
and like maybe I'll just fucking makes me want to like throw an axe into Jared Leto's head. Do you know, like American Psycho reference? Are we there? Are we there? Oh no! Why did I think that'd be a film that you?
Yes. No. Yes. Yeah. No. I'm with you.
You got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's because you mentioned Jared Leto and I'd forgotten he was in it.
Jared Leto is that kind of energy, though. You forget he's in a lot of films.
Yeah,
He's
because
in Fight Club. He's in Psycho.
American Psycho is a sick film.
Oh, it's great.
I absolutely love that film.
It's
So
a film.
I'm sorry I didn't get the reference
No, it's fine.
automatically. Because I do love it.
I've managed to
Spit it out, mate.
I'm trying to not to make it sound like a humble brag or anything weird like that. There's an alarming amount of scenarios where I've managed to be intimate with a woman during American Psycho.
Wow, that's incredible.
Like I feel like that's maybe like a one-off for most people, but I think it's happened to me more than once.
That's
definitely.
pretty creepy. Because, like, he kills a lot of women in that film.
Yeah, does that say something about?
I have no idea. I mean, maybe you should speak to your therapist about this.
Yeah, I'll let. Oh God, yeah, that could be anything.
Wow.
I think it's kind of like an edgy date like movie,
Yeah.
you know, because it's kind of iconic. It's kind of a bit messed up, but in like a sexy way, you know. It really does. It does glamorize.
I guess he's pretty glamorous, isn't he?
Exactly.
Patrick Bateman.
Like that iconic scene where he peels
Yeah, right at the beginning. Yeah.
peels his face mask off. And he's
Yeah.
like,
That beginning is so good when
Those
he's just
affirmations and
explaining
stuff.
his morning routine, isn't
Yeah.
he? He's like,
Christian Bale's body is impeccable in that film as well.
yeah.
Every sex scene, I'm looking at his body. Nothing else.
I'd do him.
Oh, no question. Apart from maybe, what was that film, The Machinist, when he got really skinny? That was pretty tough. Because he's known as one of those actors who can...
And didn't he beef out to be some politician or something?
Yeah, I remember that one, but I do remember he beefed out to be some sleazy dirtbag in, I think it's American Hustle.
That's the one I'm thinking of, I think.
Yeah, and he chubs out for that. But like I remember The Machinist, and then I think within like 5 months of Machinist, he goes from being like skinnier than me, like skeletal skinny, to beefcake to play Batman. Like,
oh yeah, of course.
ripped. Dude just must have godlike genetics that just react to food and
Yeah.
diet just so easily.
God, I can imagine doing that.
I wonder what he wears to his local Tesco's.
So do I.
Batman suit.
Batman suit. Yeah, so he's not recognised
Yeah.
as Christian Bale.
Have you've seen Breaking Bad?
I have not seen Breaking Bad.
You are one of them.
I'm sorry. I've not made a conscious decision to not watch it because it's popular. I just have never seen
It's
it.
an investment. I'll give you that though. Like,
Because it's quite long, isn't it?
oh yeah, it's a chunky one. And obviously, if you do watch it, you can then go on to Better Call Saul, which is a spin-off with the
Right.
same kind of pacing, and if not even slower. It's known for being very slow. Stuff meticulously happens.
Right.
And it's incredible. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, the main character, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
He dresses up as himself, puts on a Bryan Cranston mask, and attends Comic-Con, like back in like, I want to say 2012. And it's great because he just goes around the whole thing. He is the Bryan Cranston, but he's wearing a Bryan Cranston mask over his face.
Oh my God, it must fit really well.
And then he just turns up to like the, I can't remember what they call it when they have like the press conference thing.
Yeah.
Panel, is that it? Yeah,
Yeah.
like a panel.
Yeah.
He turns up and he just takes the mask off, and then it's Bryan Cranston, and everyone's like, "What?" I want to say, I feel like one of the I think Tobey Maguire did it as Spider-Man as well. Not Tobey Maguire, the other one, Andrew Garfield.
Right.
I think he did it as Spider-Man as well.
That's pretty cool.
You ever been to Comic-Con?
Nope.
Smelly. Smelliest place I've ever been.
Really?
Oh yeah. Look, you got to imagine the type of people who go to Comic-Con.
What, people who suffer from BO?
Yeah, in a way, but people who, even if they don't suffer from it, neglect personal hygiene. A lot of Pikachu costumes that are like, they should be bright yellow, but they're just not quite. And then it'll be some kid with like 4 lip piercings with a sign that says free hugs, and it's like, no thanks. I'm not. I'm not.
I don't want to catch something.
Yeah, I'm good. Like,
mate, wow, you've really
painted a picture.
You've really painted a picture of what Comic-Con really is, the seedy underbelly of Comic-Con.
Well, I think there are definitely good. I will be frank. A better festival, in my opinion, is definitely not because I'm a complete weeb, is Hyper Japan. But I mean, even then, it is a bit like it brings out some types of people. Yeah. Which is no disrespect to people, but
because you are one of those people.
I am also one of those people. But I feel like I have a shower in the morning and know how to be social. But no, oh God, I think I don't know if I've been twice. The first, this is years and years ago, but I went to Comic-Con and I cosplayed.
Yeah.
I've actually cosplayed.
Wow.
I cosplayed as, and this is completely foreign. This will be foreign to you. You're the last person I should be talking to about this with. But there's a game called Killing Floor, and a character in it, I think it's Mr. Foster, basically a guy in a 3-piece suit, but then had a gas mask on. That was all it was. I was like, that's easy, I'll do that. But I remember, funnily enough, I heard if you put toothpaste in the gas in the glasses of the gas mask, it stops them from fogging up. But it also burned my eyes, and I had like the most stingy, bloodshot eyes for the majority of Comic-Con, and it was wild. But this was back where like I met Tomska, and I got way too excited about it, and like I can't believe I ever did. Which I don't know. You probably don't know who Tomska is.
I don't know who any of these people are.
To be honest, I feel like you're somewhat lucky. His content hasn't aged too well.
What, is he an influencer or something?
No, he's a
YouTuber.
Yeah, he's a YouTube. So he's known for. There was a YouTube show called the ASDF movie, and it's basically animation, but very simple. He kind of pioneered the simple, basic stickman style animation.
Okay.
And like the first, like I remember because he released one on the day of Comic-Con, and I was watching it in the car on the way to Comic-Con. I was like, what? But it wasn't that. That was when I started to realize already from the get-go, it's like, either this guy's getting worse or I'm quickly growing out of this. Yeah. But yeah, Comic-Con, I don't know. I'd think twice if you I know you didn't ever consider going, but now
I'm definitely considering not going.
I'm considering actively avoiding,
exactly.
Campaigning against the existence of Comic-Con.
Maybe.
Oh, but God, how did we get to Comic-Con from hometown syndrome?
Good question. I don't know how we got on to Comic-Con.
To be honest, I think I literally brought it up out of the blue. Oh no, we were talking about Bryan Cranston, and then because we were talking about Christian Bale, because we were talking about American Psycho, because I made an American Psycho reference.
That's true. Wow, what a uber tangent.
What an absolute journey. But so if we want to wind this way back again to the size days.
Oh yeah, size.
So we
size?
Size? Question mark? Do you mind rotating a little bit? Other way. Yeah, perfect. You were like angling off a little bit, and I was getting worried that you'd be like specifically like the wrong side. You're fine. I'm just being finicky.
Shut up, prick.
All right, I'm censoring that. But yeah, so it's the size, the good old days of size.
Yeah. With Joshi Mitsu.
Oh yeah. I remember Josh noticed my Ghost in the Shell patch on my bag.
Yes.
And that's how we bonded, and I was so thankful. If Josh hadn't had like similar interests to me,
Yeah.
I'd have serious struggles of actually enjoying that place.
Who was the guy who had all the shoes?
Jack?
Jack, that's his name. Yeah, he was. I really liked him.
He was like,
He was just on it.
he gave me the energy. I knew if I went to school with him, he probably would have bullied the fuck out of me. But in that environment, he was sound as fuck.
Yeah, he was really sound, wasn't he?
He was
Yeah.
really like, because we really like were close to like the same interests, but not quite.
Yeah.
Because he was that type of, and like that sneakerhead who was like, yeah, Air Maxes, and every year of the Air Max was like the Air Max 90, because it was during the craze of Air Max. Everyone's getting Air Max 97s,
Right.
or just before that craze.
Yeah.
And I remember like a year, it must have been the summer after, I'd managed to bag a pair of Tom Sachs Miles Yards for a friend of mine. And this is my first like hyped shoe. I still have them. I put them in a wooden box because I'm so concerned to keep them in good condition.
Nice.
Because, but that's like, I remember going in and being like, hey Jack, I've got some Tom Sachs Miles Yards now. I haven't been working there, and like this is post working there.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't believe you. And I was like, no, trust me. I've got plugs. I've got connections. But because when I was there, I was wearing like kind of quirky, but still like like Raf Simons Adidas, which is I guess what you call like high fashion streetwear.
Okay.
Kind of blurs that line.
Yeah.
Where he's a lot more streetwear. Like he's a lot more like just Air Maxes.
Yeah.
He was coming. He had some crazy like. I remember he had really small feet, so he could get like the girls' models as well. And he always had like wacky different models and stuff.
That's my vibe as well, because I've also got quite dinky feet as well.
I mean, if we want to turn this into dinky feet talk, we can turn it into dinky feet talk, because for my height, I'm very dinky.
I'm just looking at your feet right now, and I'm thinking, actually, that's quite true.
Do you want to touch toes right now? Feet's up.
What size feet you got?
Guess. Go
I'm
on.
guessing.
So
they're bigger than mine, obviously.
Maybe. What size shoe are you?
I'm a size 7.
Yeah.
41.
You're what, 5?
9 or 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5'9". Actually,
How tall are you?
I was gonna say 5'8".
Whoa.
Whoa.
I've got big hair, so I look taller.
Yeah, well, it's wise play. I'm 188 centimeters for my European folk out there, but I'm actually 6'2".
Oh, right. Yeah.
I like to compare. I'm that iconic. This is also going to go over your head, but I'm going to say it anyway. Do you know Tyler the Creator?
I do know who Tyler the Creator is.
That's a good start.
I don't know any of his music, I'm afraid.
Well, no, it's actually an interview of him. A girl's interviewing him, and he's like, I really wish I was 6'3". And she's like, how tall are you? And he's like, 6'2". And that's, to be honest, that's me the other way around. I do kind of wish I was a bit like an inch shorter, because I'm so skinny. It feels a bit weird. But
right.
Yeah, with that in mind, 6'2".
They don't look amazingly bigger, but I'm going to say a 9.
I wear a lot of 9s, but I actually got my feet measured when I started working at an outdoor shop, and I'm 8.5.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I'm very surprised with that.
So I do have,
because even with my height, I've got small feet. So like that's.
I kind of see it as a blessing and a curse. Like, I'm genuinely sure I have balance issues.
Okay.
Like, not in general, but like, I feel like my balance is good, but I can imagine.
I mean, we're both skateboarders here, so I mean.
Yeah, like I'm fine on a skateboard. I'm fine on a surfboard. Well, I haven't surfed. I'm fine on a snowboard. Sorry, that's a better one to choose, or like a balance board. But I still think like in terms of stability, I must be lacking, because like there's people. I've got friends who are like a fraction of my height who are like 11, like size 11 feet.
Yeah.
Like, they just must be like, you can't push them over.
That's mad because like my dad is an inch taller than you, and his feet are like enormous.
Yeah.
I think he must be like a size 11 or 12 or something.
I mean, I've got my friend George, he's built like a brick house.
Yeah.
He's got like humongous shoulders, and God, I can't think, maybe he's like 6'4". I think he's like an inch or two taller than me. But he has like size 12 feet, size 13.
That's crazy.
I think it's unreal. And normally when anyone, and I got into, because when I was at the outdoor shop, like if someone came in and was like, yeah, I'm size 13 feet, I'm like, fuck off. Let's get your fucking, I wasn't, to the customer, shut the fuck up. You don't fucking lie to me. Get your fucking feet out, you lying piece of shit. I wasn't like that, but like, I was like, yeah.
Inside you were.
Politely, I was like, well, we'll measure your feet anyway. And like 9 out of 10 times, the dude's just got a huge like complex and just needs to have big feet. But actually, I was like, dude, you're like a 9, 10, and you're just swimming in your fucking shoes.
Wow.
I remember there was like this kid who I did it with, like he was like convinced he was a size 10. And I'm like, dude, you're an 8. Like you're swimming I can see you swimming in your Air Force Ones, bro. I'm not putting you in size 10 hiking boots for you to rattle about in your bloody boots on fucking diamond or gold DV or whatever you're doing. But there's some proper oldies who he's like, yeah, you got to size up with boots as well, so I'll take a size 14 and a half. I'm like, all right, I'm not about to sit on a phone to fucking Hanwag in Germany or whatever and talk to them. I was like, yeah, we got a guy here who needs a size 14 and a half. Can we do a special order? No, get your feet out, get them on the chart. You're a size 11 at best. Your feet are just hoofing wide. Normally is the case.
Yeah.
Like 9 out of 10 times, they're not that long. You've just got wide as, big old
flippers,
Anglian, Saxon feet, with fucking hair growing out your toes.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some things, man. Vietnam flashbacks. I took for granted how smooth the shoe selling process was at size. Someone come and be like, yeah, these look cool. Can I have those in a 9? Try them. Yeah, they look pretty cool. I'll get them.
The worst thing about size was like traversing the downstairs basement.
Oh, you think?
And like trying to find
do you know how
the weird models of the shoes.
Well, do you know how high the roof is at the basement was?
Oh my God, it was really low, wasn't it?
Yeah. The roof.
Oh my God, and doubly for you.
The roof was 6 foot. The majority of the time I had to be like bent over.
That's unreal.
Like at times when the beams were coming across at 6 foot, like I literally like couldn't fully stand up. Yeah, I remember ridiculous. Like it was the Air Max 95s that all had annoying codes that looked really similar to each other.
Oh God, I could just find nothing down there.
I really got into the swing of it eventually. I loved the fact that even though the shop was tiny, we all had walkie-talkies as well.
Oh no, well, that was just for the upstairs downstairs vibe, wasn't it?
Yeah, which is really useful. But
which was useful.
I would have loved that at the outdoor shop, like being able to be like, if anyone's in the stockroom, can they get me this in the size?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you don't have that luxury of codes as much with hiking stuff.
Right.
Like they don't really think about that. It's definitely like Nike who have like the codes are all very similar.
Right.
And Adidas and New Balance and all that. And I know we had like a tiny amount of Pumas. God, I hate Puma shoes. I don't know why.
You're not a fan, no?
No.
I sometimes think I'm going to cop some, but then never do.
Yeah, I got close with, I think it was the ones that have like a disc on and wires, so you can like tighten them. Oh God, I can't remember. Puma. Oh, I have no idea what they were called, but they were like.
You like weird shoes, man.
Oh yeah, and it was during my era of specifically buying really weird shoes. I think now I've ironically downplayed it a little bit. Well, because I wear like fucking like hiking shoes daily, you know.
Yeah.
I remember like my friend got me a pair of Air Force Ones,
Yeah.
and like I was like, I hate. Oh, they're so common. Everyone has them.
Yeah.
And I got a pair, and I just like me and my friend at the time both had pairs, and we just lived in them
Yeah.
because they're like
They're a comfy shoe, aren't they?
yeah, they're
I've
comfy,
never tried them
just
actually.
white shoes, you know,
I've never tried them.
half size down if you do.
I'm a sucker for the Nike Cortez, man.
Yeah, that's very much. When I think of Cortez, I think of two people, and that's you, Callum, and Childish Gambino, Donald Glover.
Oh, does he cop them?
He wears Cortezes.
Oh, I'm in good company there.
Yeah. There's like or are they Cortezes? There's an iconic picture of him performing during his Kauai, like Stone Mountain tour, and he has this amazing Hawaiian t-shirt on, and it's like unbuttoned so you can see his like hairy chest, and I'm like, oh, he's just living the dream. Super short shorts, like no socks, and a pair of beat to shit Cortezes.
Oh, that's a good look.
Such a vibe, and he's just at like performing live on stage like that, and I'm like, that's the dream.
Sweet, man, sweet.
But I've never owned a pair personally.
I can't see you in them, to be honest.
No, I don't feel like
they're not angular enough. Angular, like those, like the Rick Owens Adidas.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're fugly
like
in my opinion.
architectural, you know. I love them. I know. Like, these are the ones here. These are the ones that Sam liked. Not Sam, Jack.
Oh, I can imagine him liking them, yeah.
Because they are
because they're just like a classic Nike, but with a zip.
These are the Nike Storm Shields, ACG Storm Shields, I think. So yeah, they're basically, I think underneath they're like a Nike Air Max kind of shape, but
right.
over the top they have this zip cow. They're from like 2004. I broke the zip on one side, but I remember I wore them in, and it's the first time he was like, yo, do you want an on-feet pic? Do you want me to do an on-feet for you? Got me to stand out the front, and it was like, took it.
Oh, I remember he did all those
because he used to do them all
pictures,
the time.
yeah.
Like, yeah, so like just before I go on lunch, I'm just going to take a quick picture of my feet.
What a legend.
What a guy. I think he's, I'm going to completely butcher it, but I think he's a PE teacher or something now.
Really?
I think so.
That's cool.
I know he moved to London, or lives in London.
Because I thought he moved to France or something for a bit, didn't he?
Maybe.
I can't remember.
He's living the dream, whatever he's doing.
Living the dream.
And we're stuck with hometown syndrome.
Local.
Dressing up for Tesco's.
I'm a local artist.
Yeah. You are the artist, the struggling artist.
The struggling local artist.
Do you ever think about entering a career that slightly affiliates with your artistic direction? I guess I'm trying to think how you could do that. Would you never get in? Because you don't do anything really graphically, do you?
I mean, some of my work is kind of graphic.
With like the
in terms of
collaging.
The collages are quite graphic.
Yeah.
In terms of like thinking about composition. But no, I mean, I'm going to, in a few weeks, I'm going to be a student again.
Same.
I know. And so I'm going to be doing a PGCE for a year.
What's that?
Teacher training.
Oh.
Did you not know this?
No, this is new to me.
Is this all new to you?
No, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to be a secondary school art teacher.
Are you going to local?
No, I mean like I'm
You're
training to become
one. But
one.
would you consider being?
I would consider being one local. Yeah.
I don't know what their department's like there at the moment.
But my placement is in Letchworth.
Nice.
So I'm really excited about it. Yeah. So in a way, I'm answering your question, but because I'm.
Yeah, you are doing what?
I am doing.
I was going to say, would you go down the route of being like a graphic designer? But I guess.
Right.
I mean, speaking to you.
I think it's hard, but it's annoying because I've always enjoyed graphic design and I appreciate graphic design. and I just feel that my background in fine art drawing is
neglected if you went into it.
Is not that it would be neglected, but I didn't do a graphic design degree.
Yeah.
So therefore, why would they hire me?
Of course.
If I just did like abstract drawings, for example. So I felt like that would be a bit of a difficult one.
Right, we're releasing an energy drink. We need you to design, and then you just send them a bunch of fucking incoherent squiggles.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, and they're like, what's this? And it's like, well, can you not see? It's clearly a guy running. But it's like just a bit of lipstick, like scribbled.
Oh, mate. Yeah, I just couldn't imagine myself being in that kind of environment.
Oh,
but
no.
I think.
But I can definitely imagine you as a teacher.
Yes, and a lot of people have said that.
You are
a lot of people have like, when I've expressed interest in teaching, they said that I would be a good teacher. So
you have an aura. You know, you're you're just a very warm and easy to talk to person. You know, and I've never actually had an art teacher that's been like that.
Yeah,
the art department was a bit of a fucking dumpster when I was at school.
I mean, it's difficult because art at school is not as good as art after school in terms of education.
It's very weird. I think the whole construct of creative arts in like the secondary and primary school era is very weird to me.
So I'm gonna see how I get on, because I don't know how I'm going to get on with it, because I don't know if it's going to be too prescriptive or too dumbed down in a way. I don't know.
The way it constricts you. I know Christine over the sewing shop.
Yeah.
I think she left because she was a textiles teacher.
Yeah.
And she left because of the constraints. And
right.
I know specifically some of the departments in our old school are quite snooty, and I don't think she particularly got along with them, and
right.
That's something I 100%.
Yeah.
Half the reason I think I dropped out was because of that, the weird like complexes that some of those teachers at that school had, but teaching I think is challenging, man.
No, I think I'm in for a bumpy ride, definitely.
Do you know? I don't know. Do you know Ed? I'm trying to not do second names, but he worked at David's. I grew up with him.
I don't think so.
Well, he might do, but anyway, he's studying to be a teacher, and I think he's doing well. But I think he's disappearing off to China to teach now.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I mean, would you ever consider that? Because your parents don't even live in this country anymore, do they?
They do not.
They're in France.
My nice face, Matt.
Think so.
Nice face. I think they're in France.
I don't want to confidently be like, yeah, they're in.
My mum lives in the south of France.
Yeah.
And my dad lives in Belgium.
Yeah. Would you ever consider working overseas?
Weirdly, I feel quite like that. I'm not that bothered. I'm quite happy like being an English bod.
Yeah.
And I think it would really depend on the situation and how my life was at that time. But I'm quite content being
I think I'm the same.
Being a sort of like being not necessarily like local to here. But I mean, because I'm essentially like on my own in Baldock, I don't have any family nearby or no family anywhere near me at the moment. So it's quite important for me to...
What is your closest in terms of...
My closest relative.
As in, yeah, so like geographically... If you had to go to travel to your closest relative right now, how far away are they?
They are, I'm trying to think if there's anyone I'm missing. Sorry, I was a bit close to the microphone there.
You went from being like talking over here. Who am I missing?
So I'm just absolutely cocking up this podcast, man.
The levels are monumental.
I'm sorry.
No, it's been great. You're testing my mastering skills, which are already subpar.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Don't worry.
I can't. I'm not very good at keeping the microphone away from my mouth.
You don't. I mean, you can be closer than you are now. I've already just gradually bringing it to you as slow as possible. But yeah, you've got a quite deep voice, so when you're like right here,
Yeah.
the feedback, like,
Is it going mental?
because it gets like there's 3 color rings. You get the green, so for me, mine stays always at green because I
Yeah.
think I just I'm just gifted,
Soothing
you know.
mono voice.
Apparently, according to my friends, which I refuse, I think I sound tinny and annoying. But then it goes amber, which is like I think like pretty good. Like amber's like
Yeah.
almost where you want it. But then it goes red, which means it's clipping.
Right.
And that's when it's like zzz, and
Is this me like the whole time?
no, you I think at the beginning you clipped a couple times.
Right.
And it's all right to clip when there's like laughter or something.
Yeah.
But I literally am a complete novice, but I think the term is squelch. You can
Cool.
squelch.
I've not heard of that, but yeah.
You can squelch it. But yeah, anyways. Tell me where your closest relative is right now.
I think it is in Harrogate in Yorkshire.
No way, mate. Harrogate's been brought up twice now. That was brought up in episode 2 because that's where my last guest is going to college in Harrogate.
Oh yeah, I seem to remember that.
And I have a
Yeah.
friend who lives in Harrogate. I've been playing lots of Grand Theft Auto with recently.
Oh nice.
He lives
Yeah,
by himself.
so my auntie and uncle and my cousin lives there.
Oh, okay.
I also have a cousin in Leeds, and I don't know which one's closer.
I think still Harrogate.
Is Harrogate closer to
I
here?
believe so. In terms of like speed to get there,
As
'cause
the
you
crow
can just-
flies.
As the crow flies, it might be Leeds,
Okay,
but I know because to get up to Harrogate, you just bop on the A1 and you just go.
right.
But Leeds, you have to cut across at some point, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think geographically where Leeds is again. I get muddled up. All those.
I'm not so hot on
I'm
the where places are up
I'm
north.
a bit of a map freak, but even then,
Yeah.
I forget. I don't know if you could tell by the fact that there's 2 maps there. There's a map there, and then I've got a whole set of maps up there.
I mean, I went to this incredible vintage map shop the other day
Where?
in London,
Oh,
and
I need to go.
I was with my friend, and we were just like, it was opposite. We just had lunch in a Pizza Express, and it was opposite this Pizza Express, and we just kind of saw it out the window, and we're like, yeah, should we pop our nose in? And it's one of these places it's like, you don't know if it's really snooty. It's like, because they're like antique maps.
I love the
There
amount of time.
There were some maps there that
Yeah.
were like $6,000.
No way.
And they were all beautifully mounted, and they were all in these kind of massive drawers that you pull out.
Yeah.
And like the guy was just like, yeah, just pull them out, you know, look at whatever you want. And it was just like some of the weird sort of really specific sort of maps, as well as like really old like ones with, you know, the regions are all totally
Yeah.
different to what they
Yeah.
are now. But yeah, there were some real like crazy expensive ones. So we were like, should we be touching this?
Yeah. Well, so the 2 maps are up there. The biggest one is just an OS map,
Yeah, I can tell that.
but the smaller one is slightly zoomed in. I think it's technically also an OS map, but really old.
Yeah, that looks a bit
um,
older because you can tell with the
Yeah.
folds.
And it's a bit larger, and it's of Buttermere in the Lake District. But a girl I met on holiday in 2008, I think, and we're still friends now. We just chat. She lives up in Newcastle. I'm not.
Newcastle.
I almost want to cut that out. How bad that accent was. I don't
That
even
was
know
all
what-
right. It
I
was
don't know what-
all right.
I don't even know, Newcastle upon Tyne or whatever that place is. But yeah, she lives around there.
Yeah.
She calls me Divvy a lot when we talk. You're such a divvy, because I'm hilarious, banterous, and cool as fuck. But she got me this map just randomly.
Oh wow!
And it's amazing. And I don't know where she got it, but I feel like that is like something quite like, it's one of the more rare, unique things I have in my room. I really like it.
Yeah, you can see it's sort of a bit older.
All I know is the paper's a bit yellower. I mean, you can't tell because all my lights in this are like orange, but it's like that's like the immediate giveaway that it might be.
We're in like a 70s bar now at the moment.
It's a bit sleazy. We can change it up. But I do like the warm.
No, it's nice actually. It
gives warmth.
Soothing. No, I've always had quite a thing for maps actually as well. I like I really want to get a have you heard of Cumberley and Frey?
No.
The map makers?
Maybe I have.
It's like a brand of map, and they're famous for doing quite nice world maps. And I really want to get a world map and like do the pins in it where I've been. I've always wanted to do that. My
sister has the ones, the kind of, I mean, they're not nice, considered nice, but the ones where you can scratch off.
The scratchy ones, yeah.
I've got that there, but that's for Wainwright's, like all the mountains in the Lake District.
Oh, sick.
Because I'm trying to get all of them done before I'm your age, ideally.
Wow.
We'll see. Lockdown has kind of Actually, no, it didn't really. I think I did like 2 mountains last year.
Sick.
But rookie numbers, I've got to pump up those numbers.
Yeah. How many of them are there? It looks like a lot.
200 and something. But then after that, if I do finish them, I have to move on to the Scottish Munros. And I think there's fucking like 3 times the amount.
Oh my God.
Loads.
Wow.
And they're all bigger than those. They're all over 3,000 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's impressive, yeah. We've got some pretty lame hills.
Well, I think
in England.
Yeah. I think the Lake District has like all right stuff, in my opinion. I just have a sentimental attachment, but it gets...
I mean, the Lake District is a beautiful part of the world, so...
It has one of the more like aggressive, but then if you do want, like within like a 5-hour drive, if you want jagged, big, tall mountains, you have to go to Wales. And even then, there's only like a small part of the Wales where there's like 5 or 6 particularly aggressive mountains that are above 3,000 feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is your first time in my room, isn't it? Ever.
It is, yeah. In your house.
You didn't even know this road existed.
No.
Because I think we did used to drive into work together, so I must have just picked you up a couple times. We had matching shifts, I remember.
Yeah. I can't remember. Maybe you did pick me up. I can't remember.
I don't even know what car I was driving then.
Like,
I've picked you up in the 4x4 before, haven't I?
I can't remember.
But so obviously...
you were driving like a silver long thing.
Yeah, so we can now circle back to our origin story again.
Okay.
So after the size days...
Origin story.
After the size days...
We're both masked superheroes.
Yeah. After the size days, I'm trying to think, did we ever hang out until I bumped into you on that night out when I went out with my friend Beth?
Oh, that was great, wasn't it?
And you were there. Was that before or after we'd done the shoot and stuff like that?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Because obviously there was an era where I was fascinated by your studio space, and I think several times I'd been there to do the shoot, and then also to come to your multiple expeditions that you were having.
Yeah.
Exhibitions. Yeah. I do expeditions.
Yeah.
You do exhibitions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Yeah, so that's when I think we spoke a lot more because I like the space you were working in. I wanted to be involved. I wanted a space that I thought would be really cool. But then also two, I think that's when I really started to see your work, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, and I was very much back, and I still obviously still am, where I was like, anyone who is still carrying out some sort of passion that wasn't completely crushed when they like left school and just got a job. I just was full respect, and I need to elevate this person as much as I could. So I remember I just would come to everything that you did, try and talk about it as much as I could. And obviously doing the shoot was a huge part of that. I really wanted to use my creative resources to
that was really good, man.
I really enjoyed that shoot. And like I almost, if I had more pictures, or even with the pictures I have now, maybe I should God, my fucking, like a virus and threat protection thing just came up on my computer. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I hope to God that's not in recording. Anyway, maybe I can turn that into, like, what we could do will be, I mean, probably wouldn't even be that interesting because we don't really talk about your art much, which I wanted to do a bit more.
I'm sorry.
No, we
We're
wouldn't.
just going with the flow, man.
We're going with the flow, but if we transcript this podcast and then put it in a book along with those pictures and then some of your work, like scans of your work, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to do something like that. But I remember roughly the same time, because you just about grazed this little network of like the Jolly Brown crew, don't you? A little bit. Because when I was at the exhibition, I'll get it right this time, I bumped into Bradley Martin. And
yes,
you know Bradley Martin.
I do know Bradley
He lives
Martin.
opposite your studio.
He lives opposite my studio, and I know him because we worked together in Letchworth for the Heritage Foundation.
Exactly. And then that's how you know Beth, because of the David's affiliation with the foundation. Is there an affiliation?
No, I just know Beth from David's.
Okay. So that evening then was like the David's lot. And were you with the David's lot because you just knew them?
Yes.
Okay.
It was, I believe it was...
Because was there a table of heritage people? Because my friend Amelia was there as well. And I don't know if... I'm assuming you must
There
know.
might have been some heritage people there as well.
And you know Tom?
But I wasn't with them.
Yeah. Because I think there was other... Like Broadway's heritage as well, isn't it?
Yes.
And
there was some... I think there was some cinema...
Cine folk.
There was some cine folk there. And I was there for Oak's birthday party, I believe.
Yeah, and I know Oak.
Yeah.
I think he looks like Jared Leto from Fight Club. He had the same white hair.
He's just cool, man. He's just cool.
Yeah, and Beth took his old job. She went full time when he left, didn't I think?
Ah, okay. I didn't realise that happened. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I haven't seen him in a long, long time.
No, well, he moved back to wherever, I can't remember where he's from.
Oaktown.
Oaktown. Okie doke.
Okie dokie. Okie dokeville. Oakington.
Yeah.
Oakton
on Tees.
Yeah, but so we seemed to talk a lot during that period. Because then, I met Bradley, and then I also met Bradley because he did a shoot for the Jolly Brown lot, the Hitch and Vintage Shop.
Yes.
Who they know you.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're iconic and everyone fucking knows you.
True.
Everyone in Davis does. Everyone in Jolly Brown's did.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, do you go to the H-Town Rags and that?
I do, yeah.
So I'm assuming.
I don't really know the H-Town Rags lot as well as
there's a lot of youngsters, and then it's Rob and his missus.
I know Rob and his missus.
I know Rob well through my desire to find weird and wacky military stuff, and he normally is like, I get in and he's like, pulls me aside and he's like, come have a look at this thing that just came in.
Oh, nice.
And he's really cool about that. I'm trying to actually I would love to when I go off to uni in my spare time do some work for him. And just because I want cheap vintage stuff. Ooh, cheap vintage. Lovely. because he sometimes is sitting on some absolute gold mines, and I'm like, I come in, I swoop in. I'm really obvious about it. I'm like, I'm buying 3 pairs of these, 1 for myself and 2 because I'm selling them, and he'll be like, yeah, all right, you got to hustle, I've got to hustle.
Yeah.
So there's a mutual respect there, but yeah,
That's good.
I do want to get in. I've always been a customer of this like network of local vintage people and artists and oh, what a sneeze. You don't let your sneezes out.
Because we're recording.
But now
Usually
everyone,
I do.
now everyone just heard my reaction to a sneeze that to them never happened. Like if a sneeze was oh here it comes.
Oh.
But yeah, it's almost comical, like the local community when I've been like, yeah, I'm just gonna go see my friend Callum, and they're like, Callum, oh yeah, the one with the blonde hair and he's the artist, and I'm like, yeah, that's him. And it's you.
Yeah, boy.
And that's good. I love that. But we need to scale up. I need to see your work everywhere. I want to be able to walk into a Tate Modern and being like, oh, I'm going to go see Callum later. I was like, oh, we've just got his expedition actually around this corner.
Expedition again.
Exhibition. I'm sorry, I'm thick as shit and it's midnight.
Is it that late?
Yeah, man.
How long have we been going for?
We're an hour and a half in, so this is probably prime rap time. We could.
I think we should. It feels like we've been talking for about 3 hours.
I know. Well, with Noah.
Is this normal with the previous podcast?
I mean, we're on the third one.
Okay, the third one. Okay.
So obviously the first one with Tom was only an hour and
10 or something.
10, 20 minutes. Hour and a half is the soft spot, so we do have 4 minutes leeway to bring things comfortably to a close.
Okay. See you later. I'm leaving.
Yeah. Fuck off. But Noah spoke. I think Noah's podcast was roughly like 2 hours and 40 minutes. Like we were chatting.
Did you cut it off then?
I cut a huge end section.
It was 1 hour 50, wasn't it?
Yeah, I cut a good chunk of it out.
From the beginning or the end or both?
Chunks of the middle.
Of the middle?
Whole segments came out.
Right.
Mainly because there are certain things he chatted about that I don't think is the best thing for his. I start with a lot of the stuff that's being said, and and we spoke about this a bit before the podcast started. I worry if anything ever controversial is being said.
Yeah.
But another thing is, whatever you say is on record.
Yeah.
And Noah's young, and there were certain things where like it's not that deep. It definitely probably wouldn't have been that deep, but just in case it was,
did you tell him that? Did you say that like?
Well, I told him
to edit a little bit
anyway. I wanted the podcast shorter.
Yeah.
So the stuff where I was like, "Oh, should we have spoken about this?"
Yeah.
I snipped out just to keep his life private, my life private.
That's good. That's good.
Because I think that's important, but I do really eventually want to get more comfortable to the point where I can talk about, and this is why I don't try and name too many people and talk about my own history or anything like that, or my own like personal details, because if I do go in depth about something that happened in my life, or the guest goes in depth about something that happened in their life, I want there to be some sort of protection in terms of it's vague enough that they can speak freely, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because even though a lot of this inspiration of these shows is therapy in a way, because I'm trying to find a way to modernize talking with friends in a more therapeutic sense of it being a two-way thing, not just small talk.
Yeah.
But your therapy sessions aren't recorded. I mean, they shouldn't be. Speak to your therapist if they're recording your sessions. Yeah, it's all on record. Certain things I want to make sure is like 100% being spoken about, Yeah. Because I think eventually I'd like to talk more about like either the guests or my trauma. I mean, just on
delve
a side
deeper.
note, one thing I really wanted to pick your brains about, which is a funny way of putting it, because you had a brain tumor,
Correct.
and I don't know the sensitivity levels behind that, and I'm probably overthinking it, but that would have been something I could have touched on in this session.
Yeah. I like how you just referred to it as a session as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is more
therapy is in session.
This is therapy. Well, because and we're jumping back again, but because when you were talking about your friend was saying you should be a teacher, my therapist said I should be a therapist.
Wow.
Which is hilarious because I'm a bit of a piece of shit, but but no, like,
that's pretty interesting.
But yeah, so obviously with that, it can be either sensitive to you or to other people to hear.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is definitely, I don't want this to be our only session. There we go, doing it again. Only episode we record.
Yeah.
But in a future episode, if you did talk about that, and if we did talk about that and it was something that you weren't.
No, I'm very comfortable.
I imagine you
about
are, but
And
you know,
it's a long time ago now, so I'm quite happy talking about that.
But even in this sense, because I hope we can have another chat. We'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah.
But if we go into more detail in the
Sounds
future,
good, bro.
that'd be really cool. And another thing was also your art specifically. I love it for its almost childlike approach.
Yeah.
But I can imagine, and I think we've touched on this before, a lot of people misunderstand it. And for you personally, some people who are very important to you misunderstand it. I.e., well, I say I'm very important to you. I think you said your mum didn't get it.
Yeah.
And that's.
But I'm quite. I've got over it now, and I'm quite happy that my mum doesn't like my artwork.
Yeah.
Because it would be a bit uncool if like my mum was like raving about it.
True.
It's almost like, oh, mum, like chill out. Like,
Mum,
it's not that good.
Fuck off, mum. It's just scribbles. What are you on about?
Yeah.
But
so she's her famous comments are basically like, why don't you just do a nice little portrait?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh mum.
Yeah, I relate it slightly. So what I'd like to do is I grab a lot of old family footage and edit them together and put like ambient tracks over the top.
Oh, cool.
And my mum's comments that like hit me, and I'm like, fuck's sake. Every time she's like, why have you put sad music to it? And I'm like, Mum, it's the art of it, you know? Like it's the somber approach to nostalgia. But my mum's like, why can you put like ABBA? You know? A bit of ABBA. And
Yeah.
fuck. But
that's just mums for you, mate.
Yeah, obviously. And I do somewhat prefer, it's almost, and I know I hear this a lot. This is a very popular thing with the kids. There's like, if my mum doesn't like my outfit, it's a good outfit. Yeah. I'm that as well. Yeah. I'm like, if my mum like doesn't like what I'm wearing, I'm like, I'm on to it. I've got a proper, I'm dripped. Yeah. You know, I'm dripped out. But like in that sense,
Fit central.
Your artwork is almost, I literally cannot think of the fucking word right now. Is more like the word is right there, but your artwork has almost more value to it because your mum dislikes it. Like, if your mum did like it, you'd be like, ooh.
It would be a bit uncool.
It would be a bit like, ooh.
Because my mum's a bit uncool.
Yeah, I guess, in a way.
Sorry, mum.
Sorry. No, I'm not even sorry for how uncool my mum is. Just, I try so hard. I use poor Hannah Brown as like a figure of like, get my mum dressing like Hannah Brown. I'm like, yo, get her in the beat up like jeans and because Hannah Brown dresses so cool. Yeah. And she's such a cool mum. So I'm like, yo, mum.
She's a groovy lady.
Why don't you get like an oversized flannel shirt and just look cool? And she's like, no, I'm going to buy this weird top from H&M because I found it really cheap at a Garden House Hospice. And I'm like, Oh God. But yeah, there are things that I do, and I almost want to do disclaimers beforehand with future guests, especially. But I do want to go down these routes. But I know we have really fun conversations as well. But
Yeah, well, I think this has been fairly light-hearted, hasn't it?
exactly.
But it could have gone,
And we could,
could
and
have,
I'm
could
and
have
I'm
gone
down
out
for
there.
that.
Could have gone out there, yeah.
But I think there's a balance, as in anything,
Yeah.
a natural way of things go. And this is for people who ever think about therapy. It's the same with therapy as well. A lot of my therapy sessions can be really lighthearted, casual chat.
All right.
But then a lot of therapy sessions, the tissue box comes out and we touch on some serious shit. Like,
Yeah.
and I would like to do that in this space as well. But yeah, in the future, I would love to delve more into your art. But I don't really like interviewing you. I feel like it gets into an interview if I do that.
Yeah, I think it's been quite,
Back and forth.
yeah, it's been kind of,
The tangent about American Psycho. It's just
yeah. I mean, stuff like that.
Guys being
That's
dudes.
a proper conversation. That isn't an interview.
Exactly.
So I think you're allowed to have subjects that you want to
touch on. I mean, obviously, I'm not ever trying to restrict myself, but it's also the same reason that I wanted to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm sorry we've not actually spoken about anything that you've wanted to speak about.
No, I mean, we have. We've spoke the main. I mean, to be honest, the only thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was the hometown syndrome, because that's something I've been
Yeah,
really like.
Yeah.
I feel like you're one of the only other people I can talk to also
Yeah.
about that. And to be honest, I want to get my friend Harry on eventually, and that'll be the same thing, because he's been I went to school with him every day for years and years, and he still lives in the same fucking house. Like,
yeah,
I think if I warmed my arm up, I could throw a rock through his window from
wow.
here. Like, he lives like right there. And it's just been like that all our life. So that was a nice thing to talk about with you specifically, and just being able to talk about art in general as
Yeah.
well. Because I mean, I'm definitely don't know art very well.
yeah,
My taste in artists are very few and far between. I think the only reason, and it's literally just because of it's nostalgia, a lot of the reason I like it, but
Yeah.
an artist called Cesar Manrique, who my grandparents have a holiday home in the Canary Islands, Lanzarote,
yeah.
and Cesar Manrique is kind of an iconic artist from there. Who
Oh, cool.
he has
I'm not familiar with this.
he's a sculptor, but I like his paintings, and it's all very volcanic inspired. But there's a lot of color.
Cool.
I don't know if he's the reason, but I want to say he is the reason that houses in Lanzarote have to be painted white. Every house there's white
Cool.
and traditional. And he has a house there. And if you're ever in Lanzarote, go to his home, because it's this beautiful museum where there's like his home is like winding through the volcanic tunnels.
Oh wow.
And there's like an underground swimming pool. The space is stunning. But yeah, like my experience of art is that, kind of like very specific, pinpoint, just things that I've grown up to like because of their
Yeah.
like I think the most mainstream artist I really have ever liked is Pollock, probably Jackson Pollock.
Good choice.
He
Good choice.
and I think it's almost the same reason I like a lot of your stuff. I don't know if it's a word, but juvenility, if that's a word, but just the kind of
I don't think that is a word, Matt.
no, but do you know what I
know
mean
what you
when I
mean.
say that?
Yeah.
In terms of it's very, because his is just chaos, you
Yeah.
know, it's just fucking paint everywhere, and I love, like, I just think,
Yeah.
and obviously with you, like,
There's a childlike quality.
I mean, it's so complimentary, but like
Yeah.
a 4-year-old could do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that's why, like, I love, and like specifically, like, I do like your collage work, but specifically when you're just pen, paper,
Yeah.
it's really, there's a a certain level of appreciation to just that being like, that could be like some kid, you know, to what I see is like some kids just fucking scribbled that. But then I would love to see that huge framed, like in this big blank room. And that's like the focal point of the room, you know? I think that'd be so cool. But yeah, without jacking you off too much, we'll bring this to a close. And funnily enough, like I said with my last two podcasts, we will definitely return. When do you start your teaching thing? In a couple weeks?
6th of September.
And is it like...
It's pretty full on. Basically, you start at the university for about 2 weeks.
And where's this uni?
Bedfordshire.
Okay.
And then they chuck you in a school, and then you just learn on the job. And then you're in the school term. Like. Yes. So you're basically, we do 4 days in our placement school and 1 day at the university a week. Okay. So it's pretty intense. Yeah, I will be 4 days at uni for my foundation year, which I don't think. Are you doing a foundation? Yeah, I'm a big dum-dum. I dropped out of sixth form, so... Right. Even then, I was underqualified. Foundation year is amazing, so you'll have an absolute cracking time. Hopefully. I'll be from home as well, so I'll still be here. Yeah. I'm assuming you'll still be here as well. Yeah. So we can still shoot the shit. But when your half term comes up, we'll revisit, because then we can talk a little bit about that, but then go on to other things. Sounds good, bro. Yeah. It's been a pleasure. It's been good. I always, for me, when I'm looking at a timer, the first 20 minutes feels like, oh God, like, have we actually said anything? Are we getting into the swing of things yet? I can't even remember what we were talking about in the first 20 minutes. And then when the hour comes up, it's like, right, start wrapping things up. But then like it starts to get juicy all of a sudden. Yeah. And, it is quite interesting, the format, because I feel like we could just carry on with this for like another like 2 hours or something. Easily. Like so easily, even though it's like ridiculous o'clock at the moment. I know. I think we finished, and I do kind of want to start them a little bit earlier, but I think half of it is doing it this late. Yeah, it's kind of like, because I was thinking I'm going to be like snoozing on this podcast. Yeah. Because, you know, I'm an old age pensioner compared to you. Which we've joked about many a time during this podcast. But like... You've showed your age. But like, just because of the, you know... The flow. The stimulating conversation that we've been having. I've managed to stay awake. And I hope our listeners have as well. Yeah. All three of them. All three of them. Which is us two. Plus someone we can coerce. Yeah, someone we're making listen to the podcast. Yeah. I'll get Beth to listen to it. Yeah. She knows both of us. That's true, yeah. But yeah. I'd never actually thanked the listeners for listening, because I never even acknowledged them. But who listens to this crap anyway? Exactly. Thank you for talking on my podcast. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. It's been great, and I would happily listen to you ramble on forever and ever. When you start teaching, I will enroll in the school that you teach. Just to hear my dulcet tones. Yeah, and I'll fluff every year, so I have to retake and retake. Oh. And you'll be sick of me. Never. All right. And on that note, on that docile note, let's bring this to an end. Dulcet note, dickhead. Dulcet. What is it? Expedition. Exhibition. Expedition. Isn't exhibitionism? What's the one where it's like? What's the kink where you're like you get naked in public or whatever? Yeah, that's exhibitionism. Yeah. Because I've accidentally said that instead of expedition before a lot. Yeah. Anyway, that's gotten me into some awkward kerfuffles. Don't start another conversation. We're trying to wrap it up here. Yeah. I need to start doing bonus episodes. Yeah. Bonus material. Bonus if you want to subscribe to my Patreon. Oh, mate, yes.
I hope I could. If when I start getting like I say if I start getting a steady flow of listeners, I would instantly start monetizing my own voice.
Yeah, bruv.
Like, talk about because that will put the trauma behind the paywall.
Interesting.
It's all right. It's a little jokey podcast, but if you want to hear about when my guest watched a cat get run over and how it has scarred him for life, and now he struggles to look at any animal, listen to our bonus podcast, which is £20 a month on my Patreon. Like and subscribe, share with your friends.
I wish that you did that voice for this whole conversation.
I've watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off recently. Have you seen that?
I've never seen it. No, I've heard of it.
Fuck off, then.
Sorry,
it's on.
Literally, like so many things that we refer each other to.
It's
like
just
the other person's been like, "What?
What are you on about?" Yeah, but there's
It's
no
like,
chemistry.
weird anime?
here.
What?
Who?
Why are we friends?
Why are we friends, actually? But yeah, like talk about Evangelion before we started recording. I was like, so after you finish Evangelion,
Yeah.
watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They
Okay.
are very similar. They're not at all. But there is Cameron Fry in it. He does an impression of his friend's girlfriend's dad, and it's that kind of voice. It's like, Rooney, you're an asshole. He says it's such a classic. Anyway, on this, what was the word?
Dulcet.
Dulcet.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It just means like soft. Like it's from the phrase dulcet tones.
Yeah, but
which is like
so I
soft, sort of nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I said docile, which is when you...
Which is also could work.
Yeah, I guess.
But that's if like
like a docile animal, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like,
one who's like is on drugs or something,
yeah.
and he's a bit sort of
Sedated.
woozy.
On this sedated tone,
Yeah.
we'll bring this to an end
Okay.
before we go off to a 3-hour-long podcast of all sorts. But this is a good length, 1 hour, 45 minutes.
Okay. It's been a pleasure, Matt.
It's been lovely. And we are done. Wait, no, we're not.